I think it's very important to understand what we don't know and dwell on what we don't know rather than what we think we know. Our schools teach us to know this, know that. We know this, we know that. We don't. We don't know anything because the senses are limited, because all of the meaning we apply to the symbols that we give to everything are meaningless because the senses are limited. It's important to look at everything from a point of view of, I'm not seeing everything that's there. What I'm perceiving might not be accurate. I don't know. I have a good imagination and I can imagine everything that I don't know. In fact, I can come up with theories left and right, one end of the spectrum to the other, and I don't have to believe any of them. I just have the imagination to understand that anything is possible. Some are more, closer to my understanding than others, I guess. But I would rather understand that I don't know. We don't know, and yet we walk around developing these concepts and ideas as if we do. It's just a perspective that's inaccurate. It causes wars. It causes fights and anger. When really it's better just to say, I don't know. Belief is not a word that needs to be in my vocabulary at all. I have experiences, my perception of those experiences. Do I know if they're accurate? No, they're not. I mean, I only know my perception and my experiences. It's not a good idea for me to hope that someone believes me. I don't need their belief. They didn't experience anything that I did. They didn't have the perception I did. Belief means that there's no knowledge. Knowledge is absent. So when someone says, oh, I believe this religion, oh, I believe these politicians, oh, I believe that person saw Sasquatch, oh, I believe there's aliens coming down, I believe in myself. I believe I can do this. I believe what my neighbor told me about that girl next door. It means that there's no knowledge and no personal experience. And it is okay to not know. Basically, belief is just a character assessment of the person that's speaking to you, not the subject matter. The subject matter is always going to be undefined. It's always going to be, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't experience it myself. It's the person that we're breaking down with the word belief. And belief doesn't even need to be there. It's, do I trust this person? That's the heart of the matter. Belief is a word that doesn't need to exist. Do I trust this person not to take my money? Do I trust this person not to cheat on me? Do I trust this person is telling me the truth and I should just follow them blindly? Does this person have a good track record? If they say Sasquatch was in the forest, I mean, are they prone to making up stories and wanting attention? Or, is this a very stable person that I've known for a long time? And in that case, I don't have to know if Sasquatch is in the forest. I don't have to know. It's a survival instinct. I will protect myself and think, okay, that's a possibility. That might be there, so maybe I should be prepared. And that's all. I think belief just got convoluted into a false reality, when really it's just about trust and trusting people that so that your survival isn't compromised. But in no way, shape, or form do I need to believe them, nor should they expect me to, because it wasn't my experience, nor was it yours. I can only tell you my experience. I have no belief, I have no knowledge of what it means. You know, if I can tell you a lot of stories that have happened, but I don't expect anyone to believe it because it wasn't their experience. Basically, they don't know. But it might ignite their imagination. Possible. This is possible, that's possible, that's possible. You know? But it's also not possible. When you hear politicians talking and people just eat it up, they've identified themselves with certain parties, they've identified themselves with certain beliefs, belief systems, concepts. And it's more of an identity building trait. They're basing their identity so that they feel stable and that they belong to something. But they don't stop to think about what's being said to them. Because if they did, they would see all of the conflicting information that just becomes illogical. It is so conflicting. It's ridiculous. I don't even need to make comment on it. That goes with religion, politics, any entity of power that wants to control another. So, belief is an unnecessary word. I don't need to believe any of my thoughts. I can come up with theories all over the place and be fine with not knowing. I don't know. I'm not going to fight over someone's belief. I don't care. I wasn't there. I didn't experience it, and neither did they. And if someone did experience something that I didn't experience, it's a character assessment, number one, but and that's based off of my survival being compromised. If a character assessment has nothing to do with my survival being compromised, then it's even easier. Like, oh, yeah, that's possible. It's also possible that you took something and were hallucinating. I don't know. People would say that about me with some of my stories. So it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna shut the door on anything people say because it's possible, but it's also not possible. It's also, I could come up with other theories. I just don't have to believe any of them, is what I'm saying. And I can be fine not knowing. Fine. I think that would help break down the reality that people are clinging to. You don't need to cling to your thoughts, concepts, or ideas. You don't need to cling to a reality. There is something there that is so quiet and doesn't need any words to exist. It doesn't need thought. It doesn't need belief. And you'll be just fine. Okay, I'm done now.